Hi, I'm Tom Ziglar, CEO of the Zig Ziglar Corporation, and I'm so excited you've joined us here on the Ziglar Coaching Academy. Today we're talking about mindset, and I wanted to kind of give you a behind the scenes view of how we kind of founded the Ziglar Coaching Academy and why mindset is so important. And I'm going to do that by explaining the logo. So if you look at the logo of the Ziglar Coaching Academy, the first thing you'll notice is the word coaching is prominent. It's big, and that's because we truly believe that coaching is the most powerful thing that you can ever do to grow yourself, your business, and your people. So if your mindset is, hey, I want to have the coach's mindset, I want to grow myself, when you start looking at what you do through a coach's lens, through the questions that a coach asks, you can be more effective in that. When you're coaching other people, or maybe you're being coached by someone, the power of a coach is they hold you accountable. And so as you get clarity on your why, your dreams, your goals, and your purpose, and the things that you want to accomplish, and you start putting a plan in place, because that's what a coach does, you've got to add in that last piece, which is accountability. So how are you going to hold yourself accountable if you're coaching yourself, or a coach is holding you accountable? And when you're held accountable to a higher standard, you tend to get things done faster and to a greater degree. And so coaching is the emphasis. Now above Ziglar Coaching Academy is a little icon, and that icon is what we call the Ziglar water pump, an old-fashioned water pump. You've probably seen one on a farm where you would go outside and the family would need to get water and they'd start pumping that. Well, let me tell you the story of the pump, because the story of the pump is the story of life. You see, when you go out to start pumping on that water pump, you got to prime the pump first. That means you got to put some water in to get water out. If you don't put any water in, nothing's ever going to come out. Life is the same way. In order to get something out of life, you got to put something into life. And coaches understand this. And so coaches not only are drawing out the water that's already in you, but they're also pouring some water. They're letting you borrow their confidence and their expertise and their experience so that you can have new ideas and new revelations. That's why if you're committed to coaching yourself, you got to constantly be learning and bringing in new information so that you can pour that water in so you can get the water of life out. And then something else about the pump is the deeper the well, the longer you got to pump. It isn't life the same way. It's like things that are easy, we've only got to pump a little bit and we get it. But the things that are really meaningful in our lives, they take a long time. And sometimes people grow frustrated and they give up before the water starts to flow. But remember this, the deeper the well, the sweeter, the cooler, the purer the water is, the better it tastes, all these different things. Well, the big things in life, they take a lot of pumping, and you got to go after it. Now, here's something that's interesting, is when you go after it like crazy, you go all in and you're pumping and you're pumping and you're pumping, and that water comes, you can't see how close it is to the surface in many cases. And so if you give up early, you never know how close you were to achieving your goal. But if you keep pumping and the water starts to flow, here's the good news. The good news is that slow, steady pressure on that pump handle will continue to produce the water flowing. You don't have to go all in all the time for the rest of your life. Coaching is the same way. You see, because when you coach yourself, or when you're coached by someone, or you're coaching someone, whatever your situation is, and somebody starts to have a breakthrough and they start to get results in a new area of life or a different area of life, in their physical, in their relationships, in their spiritual walk, in their career, whatever that situation is, when they start to get results, they've now laid a new foundation. And so we can steadily keep pumping and then add on top of that. That's a powerful thing. The story of the pump is the story of life, and it's a perfect illustration of what coaching does. And then if you look underneath the bottom, you'll see this heart, and you'll see these two olive branches that come up. And so at Ziglar, we come from the heart. You see, we believe that we've got to have alignment in our vision, values, and purpose, and the heart. In other words, a Ziglar coach is here to understand who you are, and their motive is to help you win. And so great coaches, whether they're Ziglar coaches or somewhere else, they're leading from that heart, from that place of helping you. And then you see the olive branches that come out. That's about peace and love and renewal. Because when you're in a coaching relationship, that person is literally growing and be renewed every single day through that process. And it's almost like arms. And so one of the things, one of our master coaches, Jackie Liston, says, we got to lock arms, right? When we coach somebody, we're locking arms. We lock arms with our other coaches. And so something that's very powerful about the Ziglar Coaching Academy is you are now part of a community of people who are focused on being of support to you and where you want to go. And then finally, you see the word academy. So we've got Ziglar and we've got academy. We are going to bring an amazing amount of life-changing content that's educational and intentional, that when you apply it to your life, it's going to make a difference for you and those you serve. So thank you for being part of this. We got so much more to come. I'll see you on the next episode.